Welcome to Short Movie Channel. Our movie today begins with Erin talking to her sister Lori's friend, Peter. They're discussing the disappearance of a private airlines plane, Flight 281. We learn that Lori was on board that flight, and Erin suspects something unusual and unclear happened to the plane. However, Peter believes the plane crashed and sank into the Pacific Ocean. We flash back to the past, where we see Lori calling Erin at the airport because they were supposed to travel together on Flight 281, but Erin doesn't answer her call. Back in the present, there's a meeting between the CEO of the airline company and the families of the 14 victims who were on board the plane. The CEO announces that the insurance company has offered a very large financial settlement to close the case and officially declare that the plane crashed in the Pacific Ocean. Erin, however, refuses to accept the insurance company's offer without knowing the truth about what happened to the plane. She's convinced her sister Lori and the others might still be alive. Despite her objections, everyone signs the agreement to accept the money, even Peter, except for Erin and two other people, a man and a woman whose daughter Amber and young son Sonny were also on board the plane. Another flashback takes us to the past, where Lori boards the plane. It seems Erin missed the flight, and Lori decided to travel alone. Back in the present, Erin argues with Peter for agreeing to sign the settlement, and insults him and his new girlfriend Zoe for not caring about Lori. Later that night, Erin discovers through her sister's email that Lori's credit card was used a few days ago at a store in Fiji. When she tells Peter about this, suggesting that Lori might still be alive, he doesn't believe her. Neither does Zoe. Erin decides to book a plane ticket and fly directly to Fiji herself, ignoring whether anyone believes her or not. On the plane, Erin scrolls through her phone, looking at pictures of herself and Lori, remembering their sweet memories together. Suddenly, she starts receiving messages from an unknown person claiming they have crucial and dangerous information about Flight 281's disappearance. Unfortunately, the plane's Wi-Fi cuts out, preventing Erin from continuing the conversation with this mysterious person. Meanwhile, on Flight 281, the plane starts experiencing strange turbulence. Captain Mike tries to reassure the passengers, saying it's just some air pockets. Erin arrives in Fiji and checks into a local hotel. The mysterious person sends her a picture of Captain Mike, who was piloting Flight 281, saying he holds the key to all the secrets about the plane's disappearance. Back on Flight 281, Lori is seen taking sedatives, scared of the violent shaking of the plane. Her mind drifts back to a trip she took with Erin, where she confided that Peter was having an affair with another woman, who also happened to be pregnant. Lori discovered the pregnancy test in Peter's car by accident. Erin advised her to confront him and not be weak. Returning to the present on Flight 281, the plane suddenly drops violently. Passengers are terrified, but after a few moments, the plane stabilizes and resumes its course. Captain Mike apologizes, trying to calm everyone down. Erin, exhausted and overwhelmed, decides not to rest at the hotel. Instead, she gathers all the documents, photos, and information about the flight, takes her phone and laptop, and heads out. She rents a motorcycle and drives off to investigate further. Back on Flight 281, one of the plane's engines catches fire, and the aircraft begins to lose altitude, plummeting toward the Pacific Ocean. Lori records a voice message for Peter, saying the plane is about to crash, asking him to take care of Erin and keep her safe. Erin arrives at the store where Lori's credit card was used. She's thrilled to see security cameras in the store. When the staff compares the timestamp of the card's usage, it turns out that Captain Mike, the pilot of Flight 281, is the one who used Lori's card to purchase items there just a few days ago. The plane finally crashes into the jungle of an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. After some time, Lori is shown waking up, still alive. She climbs out of the wreckage, relieved to have survived the catastrophic crash. She walks a little further until she reaches the shore, where the pilot calls out to her, asking for her help. She finds the flight attendant, named Callie, injured. Lori checks on the others and notices another woman named Amber, who is also injured. Amber points to where her young son is, and thankfully, he is unharmed and still alive. Callie tells Lori that she regrets getting involved in these matters. Shortly after, Callie dies before she can explain what she meant. On the island, the survivors have no idea where they are. The island they're currently on doesn't appear on any map, making it completely unknown. Meanwhile, Aaron arrives at the home of Captain Mike and follows a girl named Natasha. Aaron tells her that she's a friend of Mike's. Natasha explains that Mike and everyone else from the flight have been missing for 3 weeks. However, Aaron shows her a video of Mike at a store, buying food and drinks using Lori's credit card. Aaron and Natasha hop into the car and start searching for Mike's exact location. Meanwhile, Lori tries to gather wood, papers, and broken airplane seats to start a fire and create a lot of smoke, hoping it will catch the attention of rescue teams. While searching, Lori finds her sister Erin's phone in Captain Mike's cabin. Peter, Lori's husband, sends a video to Erin, showing Mike the night before the plane crash at a hotel. Peter tells her that the news about her is all over the media and it seems like she's hiding something big. Erin doesn't respond and ends the call. Lori returns and angrily confronts Mike, asking him why her sister's phone was in his locker on the plane. Mike initially tries to avoid answering but eventually admits the truth. He explains that he met Erin at the hotel by chance the night before the flight. They talked and got to know each other a bit. She had left her phone at the casino in the hotel, and when he saw it, he decided to keep it so he could return it to her later. However, Erin didn't end up boarding the flight. Mike also mentions that Erin told him she and Lori had been arguing, which might be why she decided not to travel. Meanwhile, Erin admits to Natasha that she met Mike before the crash and learned that he has a small house up north by the river. They quickly head to the address in Natasha's car. On the island, Lori feels upset and tells the doctor traveling with them that she sent Erin several messages trying to make amends and convince her to come on the trip. However, since Erin didn't have her phone, she likely thinks Lori is dead and that they were still fighting. Lori takes Amber's young son to bathe in the lake but unexpectedly spots a crocodile in the water. She warns the others and alerts them to the presence of crocodiles on the island. The group decides they need to dispose of the bodies of those who didn't survive by throwing them into the ocean. At this point, Erin and Natasha arrive at the house and go inside. Erin finds a bag full of money and a photo of Mike with his real girlfriend. She realizes that Natasha is not Mike's friend. Natasha notices that Erin has seen the photo and the money, so she points her weapon at her. Suddenly, Mike shows up, knocks Natasha out, and escapes with Erin and the money. Back on the island, Lori is talking to the doctor, telling him that before she died, Callie mentioned feeling regret and said she shouldn't have gotten involved in all of this. However, she died before explaining what she meant. Suddenly, Lori spots a boat in the distance. She screams to get their attention, and everyone is filled with overwhelming happiness and relief. At that moment, Natasha wakes up and starts pretending, while Mike takes Irene on his motorcycle and escapes from her. Natasha shoots at them but misses, and they manage to get away. On the island, they climb to a high spot to light a fire and create a lot of smoke so the ship's crew can notice someone is asking for help. However, Lori can't find her lighter in her bag. She tells them, "I put it in the bag myself," and realizes that someone must have taken it to make sure they stay stranded there. At that point, they all start looking at each other suspiciously. Irene and Mike talk privately, and Mike tells her to leave and save herself because if she stays with him, she'll be in danger. When she asks him why Natasha wants to kill them, he tells her it's definitely because of the money. At that moment, Natasha calls Irene's phone, and Mike answers. Natasha tells him to come back quickly to save her because there's a woman with a gun threatening her and demanding his presence as soon as possible. Of course, my friend, Natasha is lying to manipulate him. Back on the island, they find a box washed up on the rocks by the waves. They try to figure out how to get down to it from the high spot they're on, despite the strong water currents in the area. Meanwhile, everyone is present except Dr. Jack. We see him alone on the shore, taking off his clothes and walking into the water, deciding to end his life in despair after losing all hope of escaping the island. Lori arrives and sees his clothes on the shore. She goes into the water, crying and calling out for him, but to no avail. Meanwhile, Mike and Irene return to the house. When Mike goes inside, he finds that Natasha is the one holding his girlfriend hostage. Natasha tells him, "We don't want anything from you except to know exactly where the island is." Mike agrees and leads her out of the house. Irene secretly watches everything unfold. Back with Lori, she's overwhelmed with sadness and anger after Jack's suicide. She goes off on her own and jumps from a high cliff into the water to reach the box, hoping it might contain food or supplies. She reaches the box and starts swimming with it but struggles against the strong currents. Just as she's about to drown, Fato appears and saves her just in time. He pulls her to the shore, and they open the box, only to find it full of hairdryers instead of food or water, as they had hoped. Mike and Natasha reach a harbor for boats and seaplanes, while Irene follows them from a distance, carefully staying hidden. Irene identifies the plane they plan to take to the island, sneaks aboard, and hides. Natasha and Mike board the plane and take off toward the island. Back on the island, Fato has the idea of using the hairdryer wires to create a makeshift raft from tree trunks. They test it with Lori standing on it, and it works. Everyone is overjoyed. They decide that Fato will be the one to row out and contact rescue forces for help. Everyone agrees to the plan. However, that night, Mike sneaks off and steals the raft, intending to escape on his own. Lori notices and shouts at him, even shooting an arrow at him with Fato's hunting gear. She manages to hit him, and the arrow pierces his body, but he's still determined to escape. The movie shifts back to the present time. Mike and Natasha arrive at the island, and of course, Irene is still hidden with them on the plane. Mike sees her but chooses to stay silent. They disembark on the island, and Irene follows them. She finds a door and enters, discovering what seems to be a path surrounded by a large camp. Inside, she finds boxes of food, a bag containing weapons, a walkie-talkie, and a detailed map of the island. She takes them and leaves, following the map until she sees Natasha on the shore with a speedboat. Suddenly, someone sneaks up behind her, covers her mouth, and pulls her away. Meanwhile, Fato teaches Lori how to fish. It's clear they've grown closer. Daniel and Amber are also developing a relationship, leaving the four of them to look after Amber's son, little Sonny. After Mike escaped with the raft, everyone assumed he drowned in the ocean. They now realize they must learn to live on the island. One night, they throw a small party to lighten the mood. During the party, Amber confesses to Lori that she was the one who stole her golden lighter and returns it to her. Lori becomes furious, yelling at Amber and fighting with her for ruining their chance of escape. As for Natasha, she keeps searching for Mike while Mike and Irene stay hidden. Natasha yells out saying, "I know you can hear me. I don't want anything from you except Daniel's location. If you hand him over, I'll let you leave safely." At this point, Mike is recalling the past, and we take a flashback to when he was at the hotel, urinating with Daniel, and they had a long friendship and close bond. Daniel asks Mike for urgent help, offering him an unimaginable amount of money in return. Mike replies, "I'm listening. Go ahead and tell me what you need." We then go back to Mike and Irene on the island, where they are hiding from Natasha. Mike tells Irene, "I'm going to draw Natasha's attention, and you get on the boat quickly before they finish us both." He does just that, and Natasha spots him, chasing after him, while Irene starts untangling the boat. Mike then launches a distress signal into the air, which is seen by both Irene and Fatou and Lori, who are watching the sky. Later, they hear Daniel scream, informing them that Amber has committed suicide and thrown herself into the ocean. They also find her cane washed up on the shore. Daniel says, "I tried to save her, but I don't know how to swim like you do." A boy jumps into the water quickly, hoping to rescue Amber. Meanwhile, Mike appears and runs toward Irene while Natasha chases him and fires a shot, but Mike manages to reach the boat. Irene speeds away, and Natasha keeps shouting, pleading for Irene not to leave her to die alone. Irene hears her and stops the boat. She considers turning back, but Mike warns her not to, saying, "Move quickly, and I'll take you to the real island we crashed on." Irene shouts at Natasha, telling her about the place with food and drink, and continues moving the boat. Mike also tells her the truth. He says that Natasha works for Camilla, Daniel's wife, and that Camilla is the CEO of an airline company. The film then takes us back to a flashback when Daniel asked Mike to kill his lover because she was threatening to expose their relationship to Camilla. We learn that all of Daniel's money, wealth, and business are actually owned by Camilla and her father. If they find out about his affair, they will make him jobless and bankrupt, and possibly even kill him. Mike offers him another option. You and your lover will travel with me on the plane, and with my expertise, I'll make sure we do an emergency landing in a place no one knows. During the chaos and accident that will happen, you can get rid of her without anyone noticing or seeing anything, and then you'll be free of her forever, and I'll earn some good cash from the deal. Back to the present, Mike tells Irene that Daniel's lover is who he wanted to get rid of, and that his wife sent Natasha to erase any trace of what happened and eliminate everyone on the island. Lori confronts Daniel with pictures of him and Amber, found in her bag. She tells him, "You and Amber know each other, and you have an emotional connection, even before the accident." She tells him that the boy Sonny, who is Amber's son, is actually his son as well. Daniel says, "I love her very much, but I'm married, and I can't expose our relationship." Lori feels saddened because she had wronged Amber and fought with her, and it seems that Amber stole her lighter to spend more time with Daniel and tried to fix their relationship. Then they set a fire to attract whoever fired the distress signal earlier, but Lori notices scratches and wounds on Daniel's neck. She realizes that Amber didn't commit suicide but that he killed her and dumped her in the ocean. It becomes clear that Amber was the one who inflicted the scratches and injuries on his neck with her nails as she tried to fight him. While trying to confront him, Lori feels scared to speak up because she knows he might kill her too. She tells him, "I'm going to head back to the shore, and you keep stoking the fire." She went back and recorded her phone number in case someone finds it after they die here. But the phone loses its charge, and she keeps crying. At that moment, Mike tells Aaron the correct direction to follow on the boat to reach the island by following the stars in the sky. After that, he dies. As for Daniel, he wakes up with scratches on his neck and realizes Aaron saw them. She must have figured out that he was the one who killed Amber. He threatens her with the dagger he has, wanting to kill her and bury his secret and crime with her. As for Fantoma, he hasn't shown up since last night, and it seems he drowned and died. Later, Aaron reaches the island and gets off. Daniel sees her and watches from a distance. She walks a little around the island and finds the wreckage of the plane. Daniel runs quickly to get the boat and leave, but the keys are with Aaron. He believes it when he finds Mike's body on the boat. Aaron uses the radio to contact Detective T. Oki, who is handling the case. She tells her that she has reached the wreckage of Flight 281 and also informs her that a little boy is still alive. Detective T tells Aaron to keep the radio open so they can track her location. Daniel comes back, searching for Aaron to kill her as well and take the boat keys from her. Suddenly, Lori shows up and pulls her sister Aaron aside, putting her hand over her mouth so Daniel doesn't kill her. But after a while, Daniel sees Lori but doesn't see Aaron with her because Aaron is lying on the ground hiding from him. Lori tells Aaron in a low voice to go and prepare the boat so the child Sonny doesn't die on the island. Lori runs off, and Daniel chases after her. When she reaches Sonny, Daniel has already reached him, holding him in his hands. He tells Lori that someone arrived on the island by boat recently. Lori pretends to know nothing about it. Daniel puts Sonny in his bed and tells Lori that Amber is the one to blame because she was threatening to expose their secret and relationship to his wife. He had no choice but to get rid of her. He didn't know, nor did he agree with her, that she would bring a young boy, Sonny, on this cursed trip. Lori tries to be nice to him, saying that he was right in everything he did, and that Amber was the one who turned the love between them into a cheap threat and blackmail. She also put him in this situation. Honestly, if she were in his place, she would have done the same and even more. After that, they go to the boat, and Lori pretends not to know Aaron. Aaron does the same, lying to Daniel and saying that she works with his wife, Mrs. Camilla, and that she knew everything but still loves him, forgives him, and wants him to return to her safely. Regarding the child, she says he will be placed in an orphanage, and she will take care of him, ensuring he will live well, but she advises him not to leave any proof that he was involved with Amber. Daniel says he has some photos with her, and will go burn them and return quickly. As soon as he leaves, Aaron and Lori take the child, get in the boat, and start rowing. After a while, Lori spots Fantoma's body washed up on the shore and keeps calling for him. Daniel sees them and sees the body, running quickly toward it. Lori jumps off the boat, trying to reach Fantoma before him and drag him into the water, knowing that Daniel doesn't know how to swim. But Daniel reaches him first. Fantoma is still alive, and Daniel places the dagger on his neck, telling Aaron to get off the boat. She obeys when Lori tells her to do so. At that moment, Fantoma stabs Daniel in the hand. Lori hits Daniel with Amber's crutch. Daniel attacks her and knocks her into the water, trying to drown her. Aaron grabs a wooden spear and stabs him in the back. Daniel screams and falls into the water. Lori also hits him with a rock on his head, and he falls into the water. After that, they hold on to each other, and Lori keeps hitting him until his head cracks open, and he dies. A few moments later, they see rescue planes and police from a distance. Fantoma tells them that the police will claim he killed everyone because of his criminal record and history, and no one will believe that he didn't kill anyone. They take the boat, and Lori goes with him. They hide for a while until the police come and take Aaron and Sunny. During the investigations, the police can't get any information from Aaron. She tells them she reached the island by her own search but didn't find anyone except Sunny. The police confirm that all 14 passengers on the plane are dead. Aaron returns Mike's money to him and also returns Sunny to Amber's parents. Later, Lori's friend visits Aaron and gives her the insurance check from the company for the victims. We then see Lori, who is pregnant, on the island with Fantoma. They are living together in complete happiness. And so ends the events of today's movie. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked the video.